Hi everyone! Today we're making chocolate cherry Cinnabons. Look how beautiful! They are very tasty, incredibly soft dough. All in all, these are the best Cinnabons I've ever made. The dough is very easy to make. So first, in one container, we're going to mix the flour. It's a good idea to sift the flour a couple times. Here I add sugar and vanilla sugar. I will use dry yeast and half a teaspoon of salt. You can replace the yeast with fresh yeast, but I do with dry yeast, it always turns out well. Mix very well. Now next to it, I will combine 1 egg, and here I will add melted butter. Mix it all up, and I'm going to add the milk. And now we'll combine it all. The dough kneads very easily. You can knead it with a mixer, or you can knead it with your hands like I did today. It kneads very quickly, 5 to 10 minutes, and you can put the dough to proof. We transfer the dough to the table and knead it. When the dough is kneaded, if you have a dough mixer, you can do it in it. Transfer it to a container, covering it with cling film, and leave it to rise for about 40 minutes to an hour. If it's cold in your place, put it on the door of the oven. The oven should be turned on to 80 degrees, and you'll have the dough coming up fast. It usually comes up well, and then I start working with it. I'm going to cook with freshly frozen cherries. I defrost the cherries and put them in a colander. It needs a good squeezing. The less moisture you have in the cherries, the more flavorful the dough will be, so you don't end up with an underbaked dough. I push it like this so that all the liquid is gone as much as possible. I leave all the liquid at the bottom. Let's transfer into some container. Like this. You can put the juice in a compote. Here I add 1 or 2 spoons of starch, depends on the cherries, and a spoonful of sugar. You can use any kind of starch, potato starch, cornstarch, whatever. Mix it all up, and you can set it aside. The juice will mix with the starch. In the meantime, leave the cherries alone. Let's prepare the chocolate. I'm going to use dark chocolate. You can use milk chocolate, 20% cream. You can use any percentage of cream. Warm it up in the microwave. This is how I make my chocolate. It's like Nutella or a viscous sweet condensed milk. Look how the dough has risen. Let's transfer the dough to the table. You have to knead it a little bit with your hands. Here it is. It's warm. It was on the oven door, and it's coming up really fast. Roll it all out into a single layer, approximately ½ a centimeter thick. Watch how I roll out the dough. In width, I make 36 centimeters. How long do you want it to be? I've got a length of 45 centimeters here. That's 45 by 36. And I'll divide it into 6 buns. Then you get these beautiful cinnamon buns. You could just make them smaller. Then there'll be about 10 more. Then you divide each bun by about 4 centimeters. That's it. Now what do? I'm going to take the chocolate that we melted. Put it over here, very thick a layer of chocolate, and a thick layer of chocolate. That's all I need to be happy. Well, don't make it too thick, because the buns might just float. That's why I make it like this. Okay, and also about 2 centimeters from the edge. Don't put chocolate on, that's it. Just spread it out like that. Now we're going to put the cherries. Well, don't put cherries too often. I'll show you how I put them on. I spread it like this everywhere, so that everywhere was a little bit. you know how to do it. If you don't have chocolate, you can smear cherries with sweet condensed milk, and then you can experiment and make it with your own flavors and cranberries, and in general as you like. And with nuts, by the way, it's very tasty. Now we twist it. Twist it with your hands, and as tightly as possible. We fold the edge first. And what do? I press it down like this, look. And you can use a fork to mash the cherries, so there's no liquid. Okay, lift it up. And that's how you roll it up tightly like this. Slowly but tightly. Now lift this edge, stretching it. Cover the roll. And we're going to turn our seam over, just like this. Okay, now we take a ruler to make it easy, and we're going to take a knife, and I'm marking 6 centimeters in the bun. Okay, good. That's it. We're going to cut with a sharp knife, or you can grease the knife with vegetable oil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is even the 7th in the process. Oh, that's great. All right, that's it. Now cut it. With a big knife, I'm going to put everything in the deck. I've got 20 centimeters here. Looks good. And so I have 30 centimeters. I greased everything with vegetable oil. That's it. Cut it off. With a sharp knife, you get this beauty. Look how pretty. But I make big buns. You can make smaller ones, it's up to you. And you have to put some space between them. I turn the oven on 100 degrees Celsius or 210 Fahrenheit. I put these Cinnabons on the door, on a rack to proof. You can cover the top with cling film so they don't get weathered, and wait for them to rise. So look, in half an hour I've got all these Cinnabons. I put them in the oven. I set it to 180 degrees Celsius or 360 Fahrenheit. And bake for about 30 to 40 minutes. If you get burning on the top, lower the temperature a little bit. But for 30 to 40 minutes, make sure they're just nice and brown. I top everything off with mascarpone cheese. Since the buns I make are big Cinnabons, I take 2 tablespoons of cheese per bun. If you made them bigger and not small, you can go somewhere around 1 tablespoon, not full. And powdered sugar. I don't whip with a mixer, just stir with a spoon. Look. I just took them out of the oven. They're really pretty. While they're hot, here's what to do. We're going to take a knife. And right here where we twisted them, pierce our buns so that when we put the cheese in, it goes all the way through. See, it's already springy like this. When I put the cheese in, I'm going to put this thing down a little bit. That's pretty much it. It looks good as it is. Now let's wait about 5 minutes so that this first heat, it settles a little bit. Okay, now it's been about 5 minutes or so since I took them out of the oven. So what I'm going to do, look, I'm doing it this way. With a knife, you can use a spatula like I have. Like this, you put the cream right here in the middle. Here and on top. Now it's going to start to melt inside. That's it. And the more cream, of course, the better it tastes. Now look. Chocolate, cherries, mascarpone. Well, this is just magical. These are the Cinnabons. Look how beautiful they are. We can make them a little smaller. Let's break them apart and see what's inside. I'm going to cut it open and show you what it looks like inside so you can see. Just look. Well, look how much cream is inside. Lots of chocolate, lots of cherries. Look how beautiful it is. It's so delicious. You could eat 2 buns at once, just these huge ones. So don't risk inviting a big group over because you can eat it yourself. It's very tasty. And you usually eat that bun, and you want more. It's so awesome when you're eating at home the Cinnabons that you made yourself. You guys, this is a really delicious recipe. There's also a version of Cinnabons on my channel. There's cinnamon and sugar. You should try making that too. It's very tasty, but with cherries, chocolate. It's delicious. All right, everyone, bon appetit. Put likes, share this video. I look forward to comments, feedback, and pics on Instagram. Bye-bye.